What's up, guys? This is Casey, aka Motodaffodil64, and we're going to be doing a game that's a little different today. Steam and the developers recently released a demo for this, I believe it's a dating sim, called Love, Money, Rock and Roll. I don't know a ton about this game, but it was on my wish list because it did look interesting. It's set in the 80s. Obviously, it's very music-based, and that's all I know. I'm pretty sure this demo gets you, I think, like 5 days into the game. I don't know if there's an actual release date for this game yet. I'm pretty sure it will be this year. That's about all I know, though. But I do kind of like these kind of games. I don't play them all the time, but there's a few I really love, like Nameless, the one you must recall. I adore that game. That's more of a Korean one. And there was a while where I was really addicted to this series of dating sims on my phone. Like, that was all I would do all day for a solid couple months. So let's give this one a try. I am very curious about it, so I hope this works. Share, that's good. I actually forgot to check and make sure I could record and put this online, so that's good. Soviet games. Love, Money, Rock and Roll. I think it was the logo that originally drew my attention to this. Ooh, it's like, I don't know if you can see it all that well, but it's kind of got a greeny finish to the game, but like looks like it's purposeful. It's really cool, and I love that little ripple. All right, let's do this. New game. 3 or 4, yep, 1987. Let's do this. And because of the very white screen, my face looks more albino-esque than usual. Do I hit a button? What do I do? Here we go. Blossom tree, already liking this. It's falling sakura petals. And yes, I know what sakura means. Does anyone actually find them beautiful? I do. No doubt back then, I too watched this leaf fall and thought so. Perhaps too much time has passed. I have forgotten. I have changed. Only the trees are still the same. They don't care. They came into the world before me, and they will yet outlive my descendants. They don't care how beautiful their falling petals are, how fast they fell, or at what angle. It's all the same to them. Why would they bother with such minutiae? I hope I said that right. To them, this is nothing more than a routine change of the seasons. To me, though, this is a flood of memories. The tree in front of me now is just like the one on that day. The day when I had to something. The day when it was too late to do anything. It's the same. The same are the petals too, falling with perfidious indifference. They truly don't care. They don't care if, one day, a photographer makes an entire exhibition of their images, or if a pair of sweethearts falls even more deeply in love, enchanted by their ceaseless dance. That's how nature is. It's not how I am. Same as that day, a year earlier. That day, the petals were falling off the trees as well. Back then, too, nature was lying down, not dying, no, but falling asleep to wake up again in the spring, the fire of life rekindled. Sitting under this tree, I was remembering all the joy and all the sadness. Girl, do you really love me? Yes. Truly? Yes. She turned away while the petals kept falling, getting tangled in her hair, making her look even more beautiful. You know, these cherry petals really suit you. She turned around. She probably didn't feel like it. She probably expected something else. Elegant phrases, intelligent words, something, but not this. Really? Yes, of course. She smiled. I too must have expected something different. Feelings, confessions, as beautiful as the fluttering petals. But at that time, those words were more important to me than anything else. More important than the tree, more important than the moment, more important than life itself. Because I realized that they were like a petal resting in my hand before it fell to the ground. So near, so fragile, so precious. I am definitely intrigued. Wonder what else this game's gonna hold. Alright, so 12/06, 1987. Let's do it. The art so far in this game is gorgeous. Just the backgrounds and everything. Look at all the detail. Okay, I woke up. The fan was humming obnoxiously, as ever, Its noise must have been what woke me up. I was sick of it, of course, but it was a necessary evil. The summer heat was relentless, even with the doors open. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure if 12:06 meant December 6th or June 12th. Now I know. It was 3 in the morning, and the silence was sickening. Dear God, better to hear the blare of police sirens, or the shouting of a tipsy neighbor, or the screeching of car tires. Anything but this obnoxious fan. I would have turned it off long ago, but then I would have certainly cooked alive by the heat. Heck, Russian winters have nothing on Japanese summers. The settings are so pretty, and there's a kotatsu, the table, which I want. I want one of those in my life. More than anything, it was at the top of my Christmas list. With effort, I got up and went to the kitchen for some water. What were Russian winters like, anyway? Some muffled creaking came from the floorboards under my feet, but the rest of the house, which consisted of 3 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, and some pantries, paid no attention to its sole inhabitant. Dang, it really was 3 a.m. I gulped the water down greedily, spilling half over myself. Next morning, I had to go to school. Had to? Who was compelling me? Maybe I was the one who came up with these stupid duties and responsibilities, straddling myself with the necessity of socializing and waiting for that useless piece of paper which would attest to my possessing a high school education. I must have invented this world myself, as was my wont. Want? I'm very tired, I'm sorry. Want. I must have made it up alongside all the other worlds that I fabricated daily. For myself, for those I knew, for the whole world. These obligations were nothing but the stupid conventions of that world. By a stroke of bad luck, it was also the world that most people viewed as the real one. I poured myself another glass of water and returned to bed. The moon shone brightly, animating every speck of dust. In its mournful light, my room looked entirely different, like a portal to another world. A world that was beyond even my imagination. A silver ray lighted on the table, inching towards a heap of papers. School papers, an unfinished novel, letters, from my mother, from friends in Russia, and... I got up and put a particular scrap of paper into a drawer. Had it been sitting there for a year? Or why should it have bothered me? Then again, why was it on my table? I should have tossed it long ago. I jumped up, took a step towards the table, and came to a halt. How could I? It's not as if I haven't tried before. More than once. The phone rang loudly. Very loudly. It was 3 in the morning. Who could possibly need to talk to me at this hour? To a dejected high schooler sunk in contemplation. However, I was used to it. Phone calls? It being a dejunked or debunked high schooler. Hello. Hi, you're not asleep? As you can see. I felt an impulse to hang up and disconnect the phone. But even more, I wished that she could now be here, close by. How come? How should I know? Probably because you called me. She mumbled something unintelligible. How are things in general? How should they be in general at 3 in the morning? I don't know. Great! Well then, they're great! Oh, quit that. Well, what did you want to hear? I just wanted to call. So, you mean it's okay to call at 3 a.m.? I saw the light come on in your kitchen, so I figured you were up. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Are you spying on me? No, the line went silent for a few seconds. She must have been trying to think of something that wouldn't sound too ridiculous. It's just that I couldn't sleep either. Why either? What if I had been sleeping? But you aren't now. Okay, let's start from the beginning. What do you want? I wanted to know... She paused mid-sentence as if working up the courage before continuing more confidently. Are you coming to school tomorrow? Suppose I do. Then I'll come by for you in the morning. Now, that's just great. It's 3 in the morning and you're gonna come by. When? In 3 hours? So we won't be late. You know what? I think I'm gonna take a pass. Hey, you can't keep missing school. At this rate, you won't be able to graduate. And then you won't be able to find a good job. And then... She got entirely tangled up in the predictions of my future. Oh, well, no biggie. No, that's not well. Leave the door unlocked tomorrow, in the morning. You have the keys. What does it matter if I lock the door? Oh, right. See you in the morning, then. See you. I didn't feel like arguing. It would have done no good anyway. She would come and wake me up regardless. It's what she did almost every day. Okay, I'll admit I'm very curious about these characters now. Why did I ever give her the keys? Well, that was a while back. Must have been about a year. The cherry petals were probably falling on that day as well. But to hell with them! I thought to set the alarm so I could get up before she came. Not that it mattered much, but it was getting old. What's more, I worried that I may become too accustomed to it, seeing that familiar face every morning, dependent even, which was something I definitely could not allow to happen. So if she wanted to come in the morning, fine, but she wouldn't be waking me up again. Let's see how that turns out. For me, I would be like that, and then I would be asleep. You wouldn't be able to wake me up at 6 either. Okay, so this is the 8th of September. I'm following the dates correctly this time. You know, some places switch the numbers. We went from June to September. Ow, it's loud. 100 bells were chiming with 100 melodies in my head, announcing the morning. In that medley was the cheerful chirping of the birds, the construction on a neighboring street, the boisterous shouts of the street vendors, as well as that damned fan, which had not quit humming for a second, and the grumpy muttering somewhere close by. That bell was horribly loud. The fixed gaze of large green eyes, the pouting lips, and the 2 red braids. That's red? Okay. All informed me that I had slept in. What time is it? Ooh, I like the animation on the characters. The girl picked up the alarm and shoved it in my face. But it's still early, I protested. The early bird gets the worm. This was Himitsu. I seemed to have known her my whole life. I had a feeling she was like a childhood friend character. That was my guess. Or at least since my parents and I had moved to Japan. Her mother was Russian, although she divorced Himitsu's father when we were still children. Okay, enough lounging around. Trying to get up. Sorry, can't talk. Okay, enough lounging. Time to get up, wash up, eat breakfast, and go to school. This is how most of my day started, though after so many years, I had become accustomed to it. Incidentally, I had forgotten to introduce myself. Nikolai, a high school senior. I kind of like that it's not just straight up Japanese. There's like some Russian, or half Russian even, characters mixed in. It's different. Nico-kun. And if you don't know what the honorifics are, there you go. Himitsu's voice carried throughout the entire house, and it no longer felt quite so empty and lonely. I quickly got washed and dressed, then came into the kitchen. Oh, the kitchen's so pretty. You can see the fall colors outside. Oh, it's beautiful. The house really was too big for one person. In fact, it was probably designed for a multi-generational family. Grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren. The empty space felt oppressive even when my parents were still with me. Now, it just felt like a museum or library. Who in their right mind would want to live there, especially by themselves? You know what? If you're selling, I'll take it. It's pretty. Although maintaining and cleaning would be a pain. Bon appetit! Same to you. An omelet and several kinds of salads were gracing the table. I picked up a piece of cucumber with my chopsticks and was lazily shifting it around the plate. Not hungry? I am, but I can't live off grass like a rabbit. Himitsu frowned. So, is instant ramen better in your book? I don't know about better, but it's certainly better tasting. Hey! She puffed out her cheeks comically, which made her look like a cute hamster. I can totally see that. I put work into it, you know. KO! I could say nothing to counter that, so I concentrated on chewing. What are you planning to do after school today? I don't know. Kiyosuke wanted to go to the movies, I think. Were you going to suggest something? She set aside her chopsticks and looked at me intently like she was going to say something important. Maybe. She started laughing, trying to hide her embarrassment. Never mind, it's not important. Himitsu was in love with me. I had known this for a long time, but did nothing about it. Dickhead. Nikolai is a dickhead. Okay, no, everyone's done this. I'm just judgmental today. At some point, I had grown so accustomed to it that I no longer knew if she loved me as a brother or as a man. I guess that's fair. To be perfectly honest, I didn't care one way or the other. Okay, he's gone back to being a dickhead. If you want to go somewhere, I can reschedule the movie. It can do without me tonight. She looked so excited. Her face gleamed with an earnest smile. Actually, I wanted to check out this one store near the station. It's just open. Girls at school won't stop talking about it. Someone else in my spot might have considered this a date, but I simply enjoyed spending time with Himitsu. She too seemed content with this arrangement. You haven't finished your breakfast. Nor did I plan to. I might yet have to eat this grass for lunch as well. Why don't you ever make a borscht or dumplings or something? Borscht isn't breakfast, and besides, I've made it before. Himitsu took offense. She had made it before. True, just not the same as I remembered from my childhood. I was not about to tell her that. It's one thing not to know how to do something. One can always learn. It's quite another to both know and do, yet fail to meet expectations. When that is the case, there is a good chance that one will never learn. You're right. Sorry. Your borscht is very good. Borscht. Yeah, borscht. If anyone is Russian and I'm saying that wrong, I'm very sorry. I repeated. Himitsu was glaring at me. Anyone else in her place would have long since emptied this bowl of imaginary borscht onto my head. So what's the story we're talking about? They sell clothes. She kept fixing me with a stare. Dresses, sweaters, skirts, clothing. Women's clothing. Do you think maybe you should go with one of your girlfriends then? I'm not saying no. It just might be a bit awkward. Why? I don't know. It's just the way things are here, and you know how I'm not always great with the local customs. I was telling the truth. Anyone else would have long since gotten used to the Japanese way of life, to Japanese traditions and cultural norms. Or at least to the way of local high schoolers. No one is going to think anything. It's not like we're... Aw, that's a cute little blush. Himitsu was now completely flustered, which was making her upset. I couldn't tell if she was more upset with me or with herself. Sometimes when I talked to Himitsu, and not only her, I would hit a dead end. I no longer knew what was expected of me, while the other person couldn't understand why I didn't get it. In the end, the entire meaning of the conversation would end up buried under an avalanche of misunderstanding, which snowballed with every new remark. At such times, it was better to agree or to remain silent. Alright, it's fine. No one's going to think anything. Why would they? Exactly, said Himitsu triumphantly, and went to wash the dishes. More scenery! Grandma's summer is the Russian equivalent to Indian summer. Okay, you know what? I did not know that. That information point was helpful. What was this kind of weather early in the fall called in Russia? A grandma's summer? In Japan, at any rate, it was still very hot at the beginning of September. Himitsu walked alongside me, smiling. I occasionally glanced over at her, trying to figure out what was on her mind. Not that I was particularly interested. More likely, I was just trying to distract myself from my own thoughts. The image of the falling cherry petals kept surfacing in my mind, dragging up painful memories. As for Himitsu, she never broached the subject. Was she keen to avoid reopening the wound, or was she just showing tact? I'm very curious. I'm not going to find out in the 5 days of this demo, either. Hey, Earth Daniko-kun, do you copy? Huh? What? I've clearly been daydreaming. We're almost here, and you're still sleeping. Mitsu scowled. As always, her displeasure looked more comical than intimidating. I'm not sleeping. I'm solving the world's problems in my head. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah? What sort of problems? She laughed. The political sort? Not even. Geopolitical. Who else will solve them if not yours truly? Your grades are a little underwhelming for a future politician. Burn. That's not important. There have been plenty of great people who didn't get the best grades in school. Take Einstein, for instance. I think everyone uses Einstein as an excuse. I see. Himitsu smirked. Even the school is kind of pretty. We would have probably kept chit-chatting like this if it weren't for a scuffle happening that moment at the school gate. Several people had surrounded a girl. From a distance, we couldn't see who it was. Music got intense. Look, said Himitsu quietly, slowing down. I started listening. She probably wears the same skirt all year. Must be a hand-me-down from her older sister. How does a bum like her even get admitted to our school? It's not a halfway house. Go work at a fish market. Careful now, you might catch something from her. It's not like I was going to, with her. Hey, you're onto something. I bet that's how she spends her nights, earning a little side cash. I agree with Himitsu, this is really sad. Himitsu paused for a second. Isn't she in your class? Oh, now we can finally see what this guy looks like. I know it starts with an N, but I've already forgotten his name. Bright hair's kind of cool. I looked more closely. She did look familiar. I think so. Nikolai, that's it. Are you saying you don't even know who your classmates are? Of course I do. That's Nakahita Iwamura. I fixed my hair and looked triumphantly at Himitsu. She was not impressed. In fact, she's our class president. Himitsu was still looking at me reproachfully. Well, what? I've never spoken much with her, and anyway, we've only been together in the same class since the start of the school year, so it's only been 6 months. Meanwhile, the scuffle, if one could call it that, was picking up steam. Aw. The girl remained stubbornly silent, only dropping her head lower with every minute. Aw. This only encouraged the bullies further. Come on, someone jump in there. Come on, who would pay money for someone like her? Except maybe a couple hundred yen. The speaker made a show of opening his wallet, stuffed with bills, pulling out a handful and waving them in front of Iwamura. That's really getting out of hand, I muttered under my breath. However, other students walking past pretended not to notice anything. Those damn traditions again. This isn't right. Nico-kun, don't. Let's just tell the teacher. Mitsu tugged lightly at my sleeve. What's the teacher gonna do? Scold them? My. Aren't you... Sorry, I got a notification in front of here. What's the teacher gonna do? Scold them? My. Aren't you ashamed of yourselves? Starting to get worked up. If I had to think about it, what business of mine was this? I don't care. Jump in. Hello, classmate? So what? Please let there be like a choose your own adventure thing where I can choose to help out, because this sucks. I hadn't exchanged more than a couple words with her before this day. On the other hand, it was hard to watch one poor girl getting hounded by an entire pack. Yes! I don't know much about Nikolai. He might not intervene, but I'm sorry, I'm going to, because this is pissing me off. Why should I stay on the sidelines? What if this were Himitsu in her place? See? Exactly. After all, we were all so far from the richest kids at this school. Sorry. Himitsu only smiled slightly in response. Hey. I yelled and headed confidently in the direction. That hey wasn't too confident from me, but I tried. Leave her alone. At first they just looked at me in surprise. Iwamura, on the other hand, kept staring at the ground and did not react at all. Oh, the traditional bully haircuts. Oh my god. And who would you be? What business of yours is it? Keep walking. Her tone was challenging, but this only boosted my confidence. 4 against 1? Don't you think that's a bit unfair? You want some too, is that it? Honestly. The 2 guys from the group stepped forward, cracking their knuckles for emphasis. Really? How stereotypical can you get? The hair didn't already do it. It would seem that they could do more than talk trash. Bleh. And what's the hero gonna do now? One of them smirked. Yeah, what? To tell the truth, I didn't know either. I had been compelled to stand up for Iwamura by some kind of inflamed sense of justice, no more. Because here, you weren't supposed to act this way, and there, you were supposed to help your neighbor. But real life isn't manga or anime. In real life, I have no superpowers. Totally should, just saying. You're about to find out. Oh no. I went up really close to one of them and froze. Oh no. And what now? But the guy staggered back, clearly rattled. Okay. Who do you think you are? The same instant, the second guy rushed up to me, clearly intending to shove me in the chest. My reflexes kicked in before I could think. Oh shit! Booyah! Go Nikolai! Out swung my arm, came cracking the sound of the assailant's jaw. Alright. KO! The world around me seemed to freeze. Iwamura, the other girls, and even the guy whom I just punched were all staring at me, seemingly transfixed with surprise. This only lasted an instant. Oh shit. You! Do you have any idea who my father is? One of the girls was shouting. Don't yell, let's just go. He's some kind of psycho. The other girl was trying to calm her friend down. The second guy helped his splayed pal up from the ground. This isn't over. We'll remember you. With these words, they quickly headed away from the school. Okay, that was awesome. I did not expect to actually punch the dude. Himitsu rushed over to me the same instant. Is it Himitsu or Himitsu? Himitsu. Yeah, I think it is 3 syllables. Sorry, guys. Nico-kun, are you alright? Yeah, of course. I replied calmly while examining my slightly swollen fist. Say that 5 times fast. Slightly swollen fist, slightly swollen fist. Okay, I can do it now. Shoot. Surprisingly, I wasn't shaking with adrenaline, as might have been expected. Everything must have happened too suddenly. Iwamura-senpai? In all the commotion, I had forgotten all about the chief culprit of this kerfuffle. She stood silently, peering sullenly at us from under her brows. Her hair's kind of like mine, I just noticed, but it's a little bit shorter. I'm kind of jealous of her haircut. Are you alright? Fighting is prohibited on the school grounds. That's very class president-y thing to say, she said quietly. What? A foolish smile spread across my face. I looked over at Himitsu. She looked just as confused as I was. Himitsu. I'm saying that there was no call for getting into a fight. In case you hadn't noticed, I was kind of defending you. They would have left in the end. Iwamura went silent for a second, then looked up at me. Her eyes flashed, but just as quickly her indifferent demeanor returned. They always leave. Regardless, you could at least say thank you. It's just common courtesy. I was even more upset now than a minute earlier, and not only here, but in the whole wide world. Iwamura really raised her chin, snorted, and quickly made her way towards the school gate. I should have expected that, but you know what? The badassery of the punch was worth it. That's just unreal. I told you not to get involved, Himitsu said quietly. But you did act like a real hero. Some hero. Where have you seen heroes like this? In the movies, the heroes get thanked for the rescue. But you didn't do it for the sake of gratitude, did you? Himitsu kept smiling, which made me flustered. Yeah, that's kind of cute. We'll see what sort of gratitude awaits me from the teachers, I grumbled. Come on, let's go. Okay, even the classrooms are cute. Another routine school day had now begun. I couldn't remember Russian school at all, even though I attended it for entire 6 months. There's probably a little bit more editing these guys need to do for English translation. Not bad though, all considering. Like, I don't know, language, it's very eloquent language in this game. I did not expect that. It is quite nice though. But for some reason, it seemed to me that schools were more or less the same everywhere in the world. You would think that. My high school was very different than what I've seen of Japanese high schools in, again, anime, manga, movies, but just saying. As were people. Really, how many ways could there be to get stuff into a kid's noggin? You would be surprised. If Marconi and Popov could, independently of each other, invent the radio, why couldn't identical best practices emerge in education at the opposite ends of the earth? I'm positive I butchered those names. I'm not going to attempt them again because I don't even know who they are. I'm guessing Russian people who invented the radio. Very good. A show from the teacher snapped me out of these thoughts. Whatever school was like in Russia, the school here was pretty strict. There was a reason, after all, why this was one of the best schools in the country. My class consisted largely of the children of the rich and famous, businessmen, politicians, showbiz stars. Sometimes I felt out of place here. Then, even among the elite, there were people who were almost ordinary. Almost. One such person, Kyosuke, came up to me during the break. Aw. Something about him is cute. I don't know. Looks very endearing. I had known Kyosuke, I'm sure I'm getting that one right. I had known Kyosuke since middle school. He came across as a down-to-earth guy with none of attitude of the local privileged youth. Hey Nick, did you hear what happened in the morning? I looked around the classroom and spotted one of the girls that had been harassing Imamura. She gave me a mean look, but then quickly went back to what she was doing. Whatever. No, what happened? I asked, even though I knew perfectly well what Kyosuke was referring to. This morning, at the school gate. Kyosuke lowered his voice. There was a brawl. Some word they chose. Couldn't they have thought of a better one? I did more than just witness it. What are you saying? You mean... As I slid up, he leaned in towards me, and then continued at a rapid-fire rate. Are you that guy? The one who punched Kurosaki from the B class? Somehow I neglected to ask his name. I answered proudly, and immediately winced. There was nothing to be proud of here. Now everyone was going to gossip about what a dangerous bully I was, and no one was going to remember that I had actually saved a poor girl from harassment. Don't think anything bad. I was just defending. My eyes were scouring the classroom in search of Iwamura. Was defending... but she wasn't there. Was I really looking for her for proof of my heroic deed, or confirmation that I was not merely a troublemaker? Well, anyway, I was defending a girl. A girl? Who? Kyosuke squinted. I don't know who she is. Anyway, what difference does it make? It was a natural reaction, you know. Anyone in my place? I look up at Kyosuke. Any decent person would have done the same. Oh, I like his smirk. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Don't forget to introduce me to this mystery girl of yours. He doesn't even believe me. He seemed to want to add something, but at that moment, the school bell rang. He didn't need to know that the girl was Iwamura. She had it pretty rough as it was. Then again, maybe part of the blame lay with her. He's just sour because he didn't get a thank you. Next lesson was contemporary Japanese. I had lived in Japan for 10 years and spoke the language fluently, of course, but writing still gave me grief at times. When the break arrived, I rushed out of the classroom to avoid the continuation of the conversation about the morning incident. Kyosuke could be fairly pushy and persistent, but he did not entirely lack in tact, so I was probably being overly cautious. So far, just with, examples of Japan I've seen, and again, anime, manga, all that fun stuff, I haven't noticed too much of a difference from this versus like, other things versus this, which is set in the 80s. The uniform, probably. I can tell the uniform's a little bit aged, but so far no big differences, which is not a bad thing. Not at all. Like, you don't have to worry about this game, like, if you didn't grow up in the 80s, you don't have to worry about it not making any sense, because so far this is not, I'm understanding it, and everything's making sense, and there aren't any weird references. So, yeah. English was next. It came much more easily to me. I spent the better part of the lesson gazing out at the sports ground where a soccer match was taking place. Soon my thoughts took me far from school, to the day when the cherry petals were falling. Fall was here, and that meant that the trees would soon be shedding their foliage again. I was gonna say, regular trees, yes, but I thought, like, sakura only bloomed in the spring. I guess it just means trees in general. The color palette might be different this time, yes, see. But would my feelings remain the same? A couple more weeks, a month at most, and I would know. The bell recalled me to reality, and my stomach started grumbling noisily. Have you not eaten breakfast today? Let's make a cafeteria run. You're always ready to chow down. I hope you meant that in a nice way. It could be taken as a little mean. Where there's a whole body, there's a whole mind. A whole lot of body, more like it. I guess guys just, zing each other like this. I was, however, really hungry, and I didn't want to wait till lunch. Okay, let's go. The memory of Himitsu's healthy, balanced breakfast was still fresh in my mind. I wanted to eat something unhealthy, but delicious. That is pretty much my home run swing with regards to food. Sadly, food poisoning was not on the menu. The cafeteria, like everything else at the school, was first rate. Food poisoning was not on the menu? Sadly? What? I couldn't tell you if the food here was on par with the fare served at the world's top restaurants, as I hadn't eaten there, but on the whole, I had no complaints. Besides, the menu had many European options. No, borscht wasn't among them, of course. Poor Russian man. Oops. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to pull that up. We entered the cafeteria. Kyosuke was babbling on about some new magical girl anime. Why doesn't that surprise me? I wouldn't have called myself a huge anime fan, but I watch them sometimes too. Though on the scale of enthusiasm, I was as far from Kyosuke as Tokyo was from Moscow. Oh. Uh-oh. Suddenly, bam! Something had jabbed me in the side. Not too hard, but hard enough to be felt. On top of that, I was now covered in liquid. Oh, it's this asshole, isn't it? Oh, never mind. A girl holding a tray popped up from behind. She looks clumsy but adorable. I was dripping with orange juice while she gazed in bewilderment on the fruits of her labors. Hey, careful. I was more frustrated than angry. She did not react in any way. Instead, she just kept looking at me in surprise. Okay. Finally, she seemed to recover. Oh my god, she's so cute! It's you who should watch where to go. What? So taken aback, I smiled like an idiot and even retreated a step. Meanwhile, the girl scowled and glared at me. I said, watch where you go, instead of sleepwalking. You were actually the one that bumped into me. And why would I bump into you? I was lost for an answer. The girl was talking nonsense, but she was doing it so confidently that I couldn't help but question my own judgment. And why would I? How should I know? You're the one who bumped into me. Alright, you've convinced me. I won't do it again. I snapped back and was prepared to leave. Oh no. Wait, she said quietly. Okay, it was a little loud for me. You're, well, all wet. I looked myself over now. Not the prettiest of pictures, to be sure. And what would you suggest? A joint trip to the shower? Shame, Nikolai, shame. Me? I was not. How could you even think such... Surprise and confusion on her face gave place to indignation. Here was an insulted and humiliated victim, and I the culprit, naturally. Okay, just forget it. Everything's fine. I really, really wanted her to just suddenly yell sexual harassment. I don't know if that's a thing in the 80s, though. Or at least not as prominent a thing in the 80s. Wait. Her tone kept changing faster than the weather in the tropics. Here, take this. She handed me a handkerchief. I accepted it without an argument and was about to thank her when she snorted, turned on her heels, and left to join her girlfriends at the far end of the cafeteria. What a strange girl. Nick, you started Kyosuke when I sat down at our table. He was flaring his nostrils and gasping like a fish out of water. Do you know who that was? No, who? That was Ellie-sama. He looked probingly at me as though expecting me to exclaim, "Oh, Ellie-sama, the very one?" Sama who? I inquired coolly. How could you not know? And you want people to believe you're a student here. I don't want that. It's what the papers say. If only you paid more attention to what goes on around you. Alright, enough suspense already. Just tell me. He was clearly chomping at the bit. Kyosuke repositioned himself more comfortably on his chair, assumed a serious look, and began. Ellie-sama! She's like the school queen. She has perfect grades, she's great at sports, she's won awards at the national, no, not even, international level. Not the interplanetary? What a relief. This guy. Anyone would consider it an honor to be acquainted with her. To have her spill a drink on you? Is that what you meant? Kyosuke ignored me and carried on. I would give up my entire manga collection to have her start up a conversation with me. Your entire collection? Okay, half. That makes more sense. I have a manga collection. It would take a lot for me to give up all or even half of it. Fine, a third. Alright, I get it. I should expect the police to show up at my door now and await a sentence. Death by critical glares. Except, hold on a second, I'm completely innocent. You don't get it at all. Yosuke sighed. Then again, maybe you should expect the police. After all, her grandfather is the chairman of the school's board of directors. And what am I supposed to do now? Keep apologizing to her? She was the one who bumped into me and spilled the drink all over me. He sighed again and returned to eating. Just lost cause. Excuse me. I turned slowly and looked in the direction of the school queen. Judging by the lively conversation and laughter coming from her table, Ellie-sama had already forgotten all about the incident with the lowly serf. This school is great. Minus the stereotypical bullies. The juice dried pretty quickly, leaving behind noticeable yellow stains on the white shirt. I was gonna say, like, that's not exactly gonna dry clear. I didn't really care about my appearance, but the school had its standards, which didn't take kindly to such sloppiness, so I had to change it to a jersey and a track jacket. Fun. After another uneventful lesson, it was time for the long break, and that meant it's time for lunch. Had I agreed to meet Himitsu for lunch? I couldn't remember. Oh shoot, I can't remember either. I could just go for a stroll around the school, seeing that I'd only eaten an hour earlier. Shit. I honestly can't remember. Oh no. Aww. Damn it. You know what? This demo was actually turned out to be a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, so I think I'm going to leave this episode here, and I will pick up again next time. I'm really enjoying the demo so far. It is definitely making me very excited for when the actual game comes out, but I'm very much enjoying this, and I hope you guys are too. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified of the next video in this series, or other videos I do, such as the Wonder Child Challenge and Sims 4, and Before the Storm, and a bunch of other games I'm going to be playing. So, I will see you guys next time. Bye!